footsteps were accidental. The way he walked, the way for my character in Mind Morale is a guy that has David Stratton says it very clearly. You have a crack, and if they did a number on you, it's a void, and then you cannot fill it with anything.
This is the Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley's character.
Bradley's character.
Because I think ultimately there's a thing called kintsugi, which is a Japanese art of repairing something by exposing the fracture and gilding it. And that's what we ultimately choose to do as storytellers. We gild that fracture with the stories, but we know it's there.
So we show it.
We show it.
Yeah.
We, instead of hiding it,
yeah,
which is extremely dangerous,
we take our curiosity to it.
We go.
I was interested in, the beginning of your film, which you returned to several times. He's doing something which looks to be like something really terrible, criminal,
Yes. And little by
little you discover, well, what I discovered was that, it was more complicated maybe, that I wasn't really sure that there was some father issues, that the father had been very tough on him, and now he was taking his revenge or
Basically,
something.
whenever I've had meetings for the last 30 years, and people say, we have to give the audience answers right away. So I said, no, we have to have questions right away to give them. And to me, I said, what can the image be that opens with the most questions for the rest of the movie? Well, it's dragging a corpse on the beginning of the movie, and then he burns it, and then you want to know what happened, and then what is revealed is actually emotionally, for me, more revealing than just a crime. We all carry our corpses,
Was this film of yours I noticed that the father issues were brought up a few times.
Yes.
Is that something you wanted to explore in this, or
Well,
something
my dad,
particularly personally?
Yeah, my dad passed away after Shape of Water, and it's not about the real father. It's not about my
So you
father.
didn't cremate him like that?
No, but it's like the Jungian father, to use. It's the shadow that is cast upon you. It's not about anecdotally how you got along with your dad. My dad and I got along really well, but it's the shadow of that, how you explore it. The issues of how you behave in the world when facing what we face every time we do a movie is how much can I be truthful about myself and how I see the world without being afraid. And a character that decides to lie and be a populist, and he's never had enough in the movie, and that was what intrigued me, And he never solves the basic problems he has.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. He's just like a kind of badass, right?
Yeah.
Right from the word go. He's attractive, he's handsome.
He's a maybe. That's the way we put it, a maybe. Which is a torture because everybody wants that person to be better.
He's looking, to succeed?
Yes.
Well,
there's a flip
in
side
any
of
way
it.
possible, really.
Yeah. When they said, what is it about? I said, what is Nightmare Alley about? I said, about the American dream. The flip side of that is a nightmare for most people, really. The one of the myths I fear the most is and I find torturous, is the idea of success. I think it's such a
So you've been tortured a bit lately.
Well, if you buy that, buy that, the path that you choose, right, is the success. Fucking up in your own terms, I guess.
Yeah. So not allowing it to be in the hands of others to decide whether you're
which is
successful or not.
Again, what's interesting for me about the juxtaposition of the two brothers and Kristen Dunst's character is really the fact that you can be happy with very little, or you can never be happy, no matter what you get. Yeah. And the ending is so good, I won't reveal it. But it's so incredible that is, I will say this, you see them kiss for the first time at the end, the couple. And it's so magnificent that you do that.
I realize, I didn't even think that, that was the first kiss we saw.
It is the first kiss. I'm looking and I go, how did she do that? How did she do this? And it's very much seared in my memory.
That's nice. I felt that about reading the book, that the way Thomas Savage went through the story, and I think the depth of it and propulsion that it gathered towards the end when you really don't know what's going to happen. And when I got to the end, I thought, oh, well, I wasn't expecting that. Yes. I actually had to flick back through and make sure I understood things properly. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, okay, but it kept coming back to me. So I think it really is in the strength of the book and his storytelling. It's that very rare thing when you get form and content working so freaking well together.
Yeah,
And that's what excited me about that
it does.
property. It's very rare, so rare. And in a story, it's the best thing, you know, when you get former content working like excellently. Like I always see Casablanca as a film that does that really well.
I think both our movies work. Mine was a prologue.
Yeah.
All movies are prologue to the last 2 minutes
Yes.
for me. And that's the way I constructed it. I said, the important thing is in the last 2 minutes, you realize, oh, this is what it was all about. This is him. And yours too. The last 3 minutes, you go, and you realize you want to see it again
Yeah.
to see those things enact. But
Was that in your book as well? Was that?
Yes, yes,
Nightmare
that's in the book. The
Yeah.
book is an interesting book because William Lindsay Gresham was a very interesting guy. He comes into American Letters right at the crossroads of psychoanalysis, the tarot, the end of sort of the myth of prosperity, and right after the Depression, he went to the Spanish Civil War. He was seeking an answer. Unfortunately, the answer he got was not great, and he committed suicide.
Oh.
But it was an answer for him. There's an autobiography, obliquely, on Nightmare Alley. I wanted to ask you because what I found fascinating, you shot New Zealand for Montana, and it's almost like a time machine to shoot in New Zealand for me.
Oh, you know New Zealand, so
Yeah,
you've been there. I mean, yeah, I have to say I was like not happy about the idea of shooting Montana in New Zealand. Like to begin with, I was really resistant and just saying, well, what the hell are you doing to me? I'm finally got this American story and I want to tell it to Montana, thanks, you know.
Yes.
It's got to be American. You know, the pressures of the budget, the pressures of actually creating it in 1925, there is no such thing in Montana like the ranch we needed.
Yes.
It just doesn't exist. So to build that in Montana would have been about twice as much as what it was in New Zealand.
Yes.
We did this experiment where I went around and looked for locations in New Zealand and then went to Montana and looked around at the actual ranch where Thomas Savage lived, which I was like shaking the day we went to see that, thinking, oh, you know, like, oh yeah, let this be the place, you know. But I got there and the house had been removed and
Oh, wow.
put somewhere else. And I thought, oh, we could just move the house back. But when we went to see the house, it was really just a quadruple kit home. And it didn't have the fantasy or how I thought really Thomas Savage spoke about it in his book.
Don't think. 1, 2, 3, to the side. 1, 2, 3, and back. 1, 2, 3.
The way you coded the wardrobe and the set design and the production design and the landscape, it's almost like color coded in a way that makes it have a patina.
Yeah, you know, I wanted it in black and white because I
You came
couldn't
close.
believe that we could get such a good color palette out of what we were going. You know, I just thought it was going to be ugly. It was going to be a mess because I'm like very fussy about that sort of thing. I'm ex-art school.
Yes.
Are you ex-art school? You were like, I looked it up, makeup prosthetics, which is so amazing.
Yeah, and storyboarder and all that. Yeah.
I mean, the worlds you create are so delicious.
And
I want to
see
live in them, basically. Is your house like that, or do you make your home, home modern, or is it?
No, my house is exactly like an exploded view of my brain. I mean, I have the family
I
home.
read that you've got a room where you just want it raining all the time. Is that
The-
for real?
Yes, and the house is, believe me, I'll show you the detail. I mean, when he goes by the window, I
Yeah.
have the rope used in case of fire.
Yeah.
Those details are priceless. They're beautiful, and you
Oh,
can.
thank you for that, because people go like, why do we have to show this? I think,
Oh,
I don't know, we're showing it. Okay, you know, like
No.
sometimes you can't explain
no.
that this is a
means
suggestion of a.
That's a world.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
It's the unnecessary detail that is necessary. When you have the same shirt and it's buttoned all the way up, or one button down, or two buttons down, it's exactly a different story, each of those details. And the pristine presence, when they arrive and
Ego stroking at
Kristen
its
Dunst's
finest.
character acquires this gold little lame robe
Yeah,
that is completely incongruous.
quite cheap. Yeah.
Muted.
Thanks. Thanks for telling me that. This is a great format, though. It does like come off as like, you know, both complimenting each other, feeling obligated to have to compliment each other. But it's a great series, like it's for directors and actors on actors, and it's just great because like they're basically interviewing each other, and so far it's been really great. There aren't that many of them, but like, you know, it's an ongoing series.
Yeah, but it's that idea of elegance, and then the mayor and his wife come in like
That
negative
is a neat
spaces of
idea.
black,
I haven't watched
but
any of these.
funereal, but impeccable.
Who are these
And you know they're
directors?
out of their league.
Guillermo del Toro did you know, Pan's Labyrinth. He did Pacific Rim. He did the new Pinocchio movie, not the Disney one. He did the stop motion one, the good one. He did a remake of Nightmare Alley. He's done a lot of great films, like tons of them. He's great. He's even in Death Stranding. Well, he's good friends with Kojima, and they were working together on Silent Hills before it got fucked up by Konami. So he has like his likeness in Death Stranding, and they're good friends, like they're really close friends. And this lady, she directed. I haven't seen any of her work, I don't think, but they're talking about it. So I bet I've seen something of hers. Let's see. Paste and search. Oh, she did. Wait. Yeah, I've never seen any of these. I hear this is good. They're talking about it. It looks good. It's got you know, Benedict Cumberbatch in it, and uh, Kirsten Dunst. I've heard the piano. Like I've heard the piano is good. Yeah, Del Toro though, man, he's done tons of great shit. Hellboy, okay, Hellboy 1 and 2. Um, wait, what's this? Oh, let's see. Yeah, he works on a lot of stuff I didn't even know about. Shape of Water, I have that on 4K Blu-ray. Well, I'll give it to Alex. Wait, what? He has a writing credit on the third Hobbit movie? What? He has a writing credit on that one?
You can middle mouse click for a new tab BTW.
Huh? What do you mean? Middle mouse click. Yeah, I know. I could just do what?
Middle mouse click on a link.
Not middle mouse. Middle mouse click is this. Your mouse supposed to work differently. You mean this? Or yeah, I know how that works.
No.
I already.
Middle mouse click on a link.
Oh wow. Okay, I didn't. What the hell? I never even knew that was a thing. Is that only Brave thing or is that a Chrome thing? That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Corey. I thought you were talking complete nonsense. You're like middle mouse click on the link.
LOL, yeah, it saves so much time.
I was like, what are you smoking? But yeah, you've probably seen some of these movies.
Yeah, Pan's Labyrinth was fantastic.
Yeah, it's great. That was like, you know, he put so much work in all his movies.
Oh,
And he actually writes them and
completely,
everything.
with
Like he'll actually storyboard them out. Like he'll like have a journal and he does all kinds of like pre-production work on his own time. Like, you know, just like, you know, drawing pictures, all kinds of shit, just to plan and map out his movies.
little cocktails and
Yes.
orange blossoms.
With the little umbrellas.
I know. Then they can't even make conversation for a second.
It's a fascinating thing because she's taken to a better life, right? and is really
Yeah.
that, and at that moment she becomes a prisoner.
Yes, she is. And but she's also like thinking for her son, his better life.
What have you been up to,
I think
Corey?
that's
Just
a very
you've been playing
important
WoW?
thing for
Yeah.
her.
How's WoW
is the
these days?
journal where he's cutting out things and imagining his mother getting married again.
He's such an
Beautiful
interesting
house.
character.
Yeah.
He's such a. How did you find this actor?
Well, he's Australian, actually, originally. So I was aware of his work right from the beginning as a kid.
Fascinating,
And what a beautiful face he had. And
otherworldly.
yeah, I thought he probably was going to be too old for us. So I was looking a lot for an unknown kid that could come up, because in Australia and New Zealand, like they're out of Hollywood, so they're more natural kids.
Yes.
They are. You can find someone who's not just trying
Wow
to be
is
hip
fantastic. The news pack is probably the
bald
best
all the
pack
time.
since Wrath.
But we could not find
Oh wow.
a kid that felt right.
What
And
did it add? Just
I
like
started to think
He has
about
no
this.
age.
Like, I
and
know it's
we
not
have
everything,
to
but, like,
find
what's the
Cody.
main-
And then I saw in our art book,
the
because I love
main
to look at
cool
art
thing about
books
it?
to be influenced in a not sort of like photographic way, but in a more emotional way. Look at a painting. I looked at this painting by a guy called Strickland, and it looked like Cody, and it looked like our boy. And I went, we've got to find Cody. When we go to LA, I'm going to audition him. And I started to haunt him a little bit on his. on
The new
Twitter
talent
account or whatever
changes are
accounts they
huge
had.
and make
anyway,
every
when we
class feel
finally
completely
met,
different.
Oh cool.
he came in the door, and I felt so excited. Like, there is Peter. And I just started talking to
Yeah,
him as if he was Peter.
I have like a little 80
And
character,
he
I think.
took it up straight
Haven't played in a
away.
long time
And,
though.
I interviewed him about his mother, his life.
I'll
how he's gonna
probably
get
be
out of
racing tonight.
town.
I need to do
What
something
little
this week
lady
still.
made these?
Actually,
Oh nice.
I
What are you gonna
did
race? You said you're gonna race
My mother was
what
a
was it
florist,
called?
so I made them to look like the ones in our garden.
Oh,
Well, was it
Cup
the
and F3.
I think
A P cup, right, right.
aspect
Oh, an
of that
F3?
performance is he's frail, but he's incredibly strong.
Scarily strong, actually, in the end.
Yeah, I've been lightly practicing
think
you can make the
the
remake.
Ferrari.
Well, we're,
The two.
we're
on,
all
Barcelona.
paradoxical.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think all of us, we are paradoxes. And I think he is that paradox of, because at the same time we say he has a very old soul, yeah, but he's also a kid. He's also
I gotta
a
find
young
6
man,
seconds somewhere.
You know, and he's very strong.
Well, I
and fit at
barely-
the same
I haven't
time.
practiced
And
enough
Jesse
yet,
is
so-
amazing at
Yeah, the
playing
Ferrari is
Oh my
strong
God,
now
Jesse's
since the
been
latest star
simple
changes.
and
So
goodness
real.
Yeah, it feels
and
different
so real.
for sure.
Always real.
I
And-
talked to him about that. I
Plus,
said,
it's non-fixed too, so there's like setups and stuff like that. You can set them up, and that's pretty cool. Because last time I raced a Ferrari, it was a fixed race.
how do you get to be you,
No,
How do you do what you do? I mean,
it's always real.
yeah, but how, Jesse? Because it's like at least a few
Yeah,
degrees
fixed can
more
be
real
rough
than
with some
any other
cars.
actor on the
I
planet.
would agree.
I mean, it's
He said,
cool because like you don't have to worry about
I went
like
to acting school and
someone having
Texas,
something that's
and
like a
it's
little bit.
clear
I don't know.
that he did figure it out for himself. He may
Yeah.
have not started where he has ended up, but he actually worked his way.
Like
there
from my
To
my
be-
limited
yeah,
experience of
to
the
be-
game or limited
be
understanding
able
of the
to do
game,
what he
But
does.
it's
seems more interesting to me.
Yeah.
even though I don't set
Because
them up
you
myself, I
sense
just
that,
download setups.
Phil, the Benedict character, is rebels in being a disappointment. He like enjoys being a disappointment in a it's almost pre-punk way.
Disappointing his brother and his
Yes,
mother.
yes.
I just want to say how nice it is not to be alone.
I'm talking.
Yeah, I think I'll
about
race
that.
it tomorrow.
I'm working in the Western
sure.
genre.
Yes.
Whatever practice I
And-
have in will be enough.
It stops me short a little bit because it's true, but it's
So
not
you know, I have
true.
the whole day off tomorrow, and I can just
Yeah,
race
and
and stream.
actually, I was really wanting to speak to you about your understanding.
I have
of
no other
genre,
plans
'cause
tomorrow, man. I'm
it's,
just gonna
I think,
chill.
very sophisticated and complex, and you use it really powerfully.
Yeah, I am going to
but you
practice for like
own it.
20
I'm,
minutes
like,
and then just
protest,
jump
"Oh,
right
I'm
into
just
a
telling
race."
My story.
Nice.
It happens to have many qualities similar to the Western.
Yeah, don't forget you can
genres,
ghost
but,
races.
once you've stepped into that, you are part of it. So
Yeah.
Only,
Tell me
only thing,
about
only thing I
how you
wish
use
you
it.
could. I mean, I guess it would. There's probably a reason for this, but I wish it would like tell you your lap times. You know, I don't see why it wouldn't. I guess I would just always be doing it. I wouldn't use practice at
Yeah,
all.
I agree.
They should tell you the lap times. You know.
Well, in regards to you, however, you do have recognizable, like you acknowledge the landscape. Not only in the punctuation of the scenes, like
Yeah.
now and then you go and you say, and here's the other character, the mountain, the
Yeah,
storm.
Guillermo
the
del
clouds.
Toro seems like such a nice guy.
The yeah,
He's such a sweet guy.
You do acknowledge that, but I think that within that, then you can be free and not.
I can remember
trying to make a Western.
back when Pan's Labyrinth came out. My dad's like, "Hey, it's your birthday. What, you want to do something special for your birthday?" I'm like, "Oh no, I mean, like, what I'd love to do is like, you want to go to this this little theater that's got this movie playing. I really want to see." He's like, "Sure." So we go to see Pan's Labyrinth, and my dad, like, you know, he probably didn't know what to expect. When we got out of that movie, he could not shut up about it. He couldn't stop talking about it. He loved it, man. He would not shut up about that movie for, like, you know, days. I was like really pleased he enjoyed it.
Western in that sense. The same happened to me with when people kept saying it's noir, and I said, well, it's noir only in these aspects. Like, for example, noir to me is
That is awesome,
philosophy of
heartwarming.
disappointment,
Yeah, my dad's a sweet guy.
existentialism. That is entirely, most of the time,
Memories
in
like
the
that
hands of
are
the
necessary.
characters. They have
Yeah,
to make a choice.
I'll never forget.
It's a very moral genre, where you clearly see the character make a moral choice or a number of choices that will lead that character to destiny.
Yes.
And then it has the weight of destiny, but you saw them construct it.
Stanton when he met
Lilith?
Lilith. Yeah.
I like Bradley Cooper.
Kate Blanchett's character. By the way, she got
He's a
a
cool
little
actor.
bump on her nose. It looks like. I thought, have they copied Sofia Coppola's nose?
No, but what a name, Lilith.
Yeah, Lilith, like lithe. Yeah, it's a great name.
It's a
Lilith, what's her surname?
Lilith.
It's like Coppola.
Ritter.
Coppola.
The first.
But she's from New Zealand. She
wife
can be
of
forgiven.
Adam.
Yeah.
Very biblical. But I think that was the character that created the axis for the movie.
I mean,
was
it's an
about
Italian
doing this
name, but,
sort
you
of
know.
mythical.
She's like a temptress.
For me, she's the avenger of reality. Like, she comes and tells him, "This is who you are, and be ready." And then he finds out who he is.
And we also find out she's, you know, a wounded,
Oh,
literally
yes.
wounded.
Yes, literally wounded.
Yeah.
That was the thing we tried to
Yeah.
do. We tried to make the characters echo each other through scars. Like, he has a scar on his back.
Yeah.
The unborn baby has a scar in the center, like her.
The unborn baby was haunting.
Yes, well, that's.
It's almost like a pill in the middle, or like a third eye. Or,
I mean, the eyes and circles are a repeating motif in the movie, but I love that baby so much, and I remember Bradley Cooper kept saying, "You like that baby so beautiful, so
yeah,
tenderly."
it's like a Cupid doll.
Like, I guess,
that
like,
they actually
That's such a
do
Guillermo
sell.
del Toro creation right
avocado,
there.
which
Yeah.
are there, yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
It's like a
deformed
perverted,
Cupid doll.
deformed
Cupid
Cupid
doll.
doll. Yeah.
Yes.
The detail in your film, my friend,
Thank
is
you.
so incredibly rich.
Thank you. We
It's
We
a
work
feast,
the-
really. I mean, how do you work at that?
we start with what I call the submarine, which is
So they're
4
talking about the
people
score that
for
they-
6 months.
He's got a
And
room in his
because-
house. Like, he's got rooms in his house that are like very much like his movies, but like he has a room in his house that's just where it's raining all the time. Like, that's awesome.
Aboard see, what I do is I want to be completely prepared.
Like, instead of a
for
fountain, he has a room where it rains all the time.
I'm prepared for reality, meaning I prepare everything that I can think of, and then you are playing chess with life, and life puts you in a checkmate every day.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I maybe don't prepare to the level you do, but I do prepare similarly. Yeah.
I
I'm
wonder
still
how many
terrified when I
times
get
that water
on
has
to
touched
the
people
set,
and
you
recycled
know.
back
I've
into the
gone,
system.
I've freaking tried to prepare.
Yeah.
I've tried
Well,
to
maybe
do
they I mean, like,
everything,
you'd
and
think
I
a
still
house.
Feel I know.
I can
What
imagine
to
how
do.
advanced his house is. It probably has its own separate little drainage system. I don't think it. I probably doesn't recirculate. I mean, it doesn't recirculate into the. It goes to the sewage. I'm sure.
Do at all. What to do at all, and it's not till I'm driving there with.
I mean, I used to have a good understanding of plumbing because I had to redo all the plumbing in our house in Minnesota. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way.
I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do this. I've
You
forgotten how
always
to
have to
film.
be.
I've
You have
forgotten
to
how to
be like
film. I don't know what to do.
It would just go straight
He
to
said,
the sewage line.
Jane, we're going to do the same thing we always do.
Yeah.
We're going to put the camera up. We're going to put some people in front of
Well,
it.
she's just from Montana.
and
Look at
we're
her.
going to shoot it. Oh, yeah, okay. I just think I can manage that. And as soon as that camera gets up,
You're in.
I suddenly, an almond or whatever, an activated almond. I go, all right.
Slow day.
Yeah, I need to watch this. I haven't seen Nightmare Alley. I didn't realize it was out.
We're at war.
It's been out for a year.
I'm aware.
Much has been made about the delivery by streaming.
Yes.
And what
a good segue.
they're doing to this or that.
Man,
No,
Netflix
but
is like
I
Netflix
think-
has been taking seriously good care of like the people who make stuff through them because all the best creators are making stuff through Netflix these days. Like, and even like Dave Chappelle was going on about like how like Netflix has been actually like really good to him, whereas like everyone else in the past has fucked him over hardcore, like Comedy Central, so many different things, and like Netflix is like part of the reason why he kind of got back into doing shit. Like they're actually like cool to work with.
think is there are two aspects to it. I would love to hear
Yeah.
what you think about it.
Well, today is the day that our film, The Power of the Dog, goes on to the streaming giant Netflix, you know, in 190 countries.
Yes.
And
At the same
I
time.
mean, yeah, it's invisible to me. I have no idea. It's such a strange thing because it's an event that happens in everybody's house without me being even aware of it, you know? I mean, as a user of them, I'm like a whore. I just do anything I want, you know? I don't watch movies on my phone.
No, of course not.
That's the limit. But I'm a greedy little thing, you know, and I'll do what I want. I'll look at it on my, I'll look at something on my, you know, iPad. You know, if it's a favorite or a special filmmaker, I'll go to a movie, you know.
I think that obviously the theatrical experience, which is beautiful and moving, and is I hope it'll never go away. I hope it'll never go away. It will wane and rise.
I think so.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. We all talk about. You know, the world has ended many times. You know, at the turn of this century or another, everybody goes into a panic. The world is ending. I think it's just mutating, and the storytelling is changing its position in how it's used. But at the end of the day, I hope and I pray that the theatrical possibility continues.
I think it will.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saw
and
Avatar.
At the same time, I must
We
say,
just, me and Alex
in
just saw the
my
new
personal
Avatar, and
story, many of the projects
3D
that we
IMAX.
have never been able to shoot.
Yeah, I
have
hope they
been
don't go
able to
either.
be financed because of this. You know,
Yeah.
that I can have autonomy,
Yeah.
and I can have crazy ideas like saying, like, I want to do Pinocchio during the rise of Mussolini in stop motion.
Yeah, that was so good too, man.
For
Me and her watched
Yeah,
it.
stop
She,
motion, you mean
Stop
like
motion.
Even she loved it.
Puppets.
puppets, right?
VR
Yeah.
movies
I'm
will
doing
be
it.
the future
Yeah,
surrounding
Because
yourself in
it
the
was,
movie.
greenlit by
well,
Netflix.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, I guess the problem with VR and where you can look around is that it takes some of the agency away from the like the storytelling and the direction.
Google VR stories were fantastic.
Were they? Oh, I never heard of those. I'll have to check those out.
I couldn't do it.
Not saying it like it's not like it's like there's no, it'll never be a thing. I'm just saying it takes away some of the agency from like
More than a decade. I couldn't do
narrative
it
and
any
stuff,
other
and-
way. So I'm very grateful that that exists. As a consumer of images and stories, I'm very grateful that I can access them. And I think, to be truthful, a lot of my exposure as a kid to the classical
I
cinema.
mean, like some of my favorite games are single player, like, you know, some of my favorite stories are single player games.
Was through the TV, a lot,
You know?
a lot of it. Then, if my hunger,
So I'm a wholly believer that
after that I would seek the same.
that
movie
could
on the
really
big
boom.
screen, and I would see the different experience. Like 2001, I saw first on a small theater in Mexico. I thought I had seen it, and then I saw it in Cinerama
Yeah.
in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, turns out I had not seen this movie."
Yeah.
Vertigo, same thing.
I mean, I think like that, you know, my feeling is that when I look back on my life or I look at life, I remember moments like, you know, peaks of waves
Yes.
that have cemented themselves in my brain. And some of those are in cinemas, you know, and when I remember these moments that were for me, extremely powerful, I remember where I was sitting in the cinema. I remember even what I had on. I remember the
I don't
type of
remember-
cinema it was.
Like I remember when we saw Return of the King in theaters. Like that was a really epic day. I remember where we were sitting in theater that day, and Spider-Man 1. I remember that day we were sitting there. Armageddon. What else? I remember like my brother took me to that. Yeah.
And it's all a part of how the
I mean, Avatar, the first Avatar, I worked in a movie theater at the time, so I saw that like 100 times in theaters because I just could.
memory works, I think, to encase that moment for me. And I'm afraid that if we watch everything just at home on our TVs or iPads, they don't have any particularity. They just melt into each other.
The big difference for me is we control the TV, and cinema is in charge of us when we submit.
Which is nice. You have to submit,
Yes.
And submission, I think, is a really powerful thing. We do it in love to our people we
Of course.
love.
Yes.
I think it's very ungraspable. And so I'm really grateful for being able to also go to the film festivals
Yes.
and,
Of course.
you know, to feel
That gave you a
film
footing.
amongst the audiences, you know, to actually experience their experience. Because in so many ways, I make films as my gift to the world. You know, some people are probably
Yes.
don't want it.
They don't even open it.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah, whatever.
Jane again with the cake or
Some
the,
crap. Yeah, whatever. But you know, there's some people. Well, for my people,
For the
I guess
ones
the
that
ones
like
that
this.
like my gift, that's a big deal for me. You know,
Of
so
course.
you know you want to kind of watch them unwrap it and see if they
Yes.
put on a oh wow, I love it.
It's
you
a,
know,
it's a lonely profession,
Yeah.
director, and you're the one that turn on the light to open
Yeah.
the bar,
Yeah.
and you're the one cleaning the vomit
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and you turn off the light
I
and the
know,
bar.
that's-
So
that's
you
very
like to see the
true.
customers somewhere.
Yeah, I often think of myself as the caretaker or the janitor.
Mhm.
You know, because there's just so much checking of stuff that you have to do, and in the end, you're the one.
Yeah, who
doing
wouldn't
it,
wanna,
you know,
like,
check that
watch
print check.
people
I mean, how do you ever make
enjoy what
sure
you
that
made.
your film is loud enough or not loud enough? I mean, that's so difficult. Even just that simple thing. This film would not have been made if Netflix hadn't stepped off.
if it
and
wasn't
said,
if it
"We'll
wouldn't
take
bring
this
you
risk."
like any
There
kind
you
of
have
joy, you wouldn't make it
So
available
we-
to people.
So you know,
We're not
You know.
gonna settle it today.
yeah, and you know, I keep saying, well, you know, well, why can't you also have a theatrical release? You know,
Yes.
why? Surely your subscribers would love that too. You know.
Let's find a solution and look for it.
Okay, my friend.
Yes.
We're going to continue this, right?
Yes, we should.
Let's
In
do
the
that.
rain room. In the rain
In the
room.
rain
In
room.
the rain
Oh my
room.
God.
Yes.
No, man, well, Del Toro is such a man. That man's just so cool. I love that man so much. Such a good person.
Are there videos of the rain room?
Let's look it up. I'm curious. Del Toro's rain room. Rain room. Oh God! Oh, wait. Hold up. It's 6 years ago. Okay. Which one's the longer video? Okay, this is the whole video. Oh wait. So confused. This one has more view, but this one's longer. Oh, this is on the Kronos DVD. Oh. Oh, that's like a long time ago. This is older. Kronos came out a long time.
We're deep in the San Fernando Valley, suburban Los Angeles. The kind of place where you can.
But he's got, like, many houses. Hopefully this is the
not have
one
to
we're-
worry about
they're
the
referring to.
scary inner city. But little do people know that behind one of these doors lies a house of nightmares. Well, it's really just Guillermo del Toro's house. He's got an unbelievable collection of sci-fi, horror, comic book, just weird stuff. He calls it Bleak House. Let's check it out. Hi, Guillermo, how are you?
Hi, Andy. Very good.
Good.
Welcome.
This guy greets everybody as they come in.
That's
the door.
right.
That's obviously Boris Karloff.
If you are a real
Boris
Frankenstein
Karloff.
geek, you know this is the first movie. You can tell it because he has the hollow on the right cheek, which as a kid you were wondering
like,
how did he
I'm just gonna say this right off. Like, that guy's like trying to play things off for laughs. I don't know if like that's the most appropriate way to like do this, but
do that with makeup.
Yeah.
And what
I'm sure
happened
that
is
Del Toro will be a good
Boris
sport about it.
removed his, false teeth.
Oh, he had false
So
teeth.
he has the whole right side was false teeth.
Well, let's start in here. What is this room?
This is horror. We have H.P. Lovecraft there,
Yeah, the famous
the famous horror author.
horror.
Oh, wow.
And over there looking at H.P. Lovecraft is Edgar Allan Poe.
Edgar Allan Poe.
yeah.
With a hypodermic needle, they put each of the hairs of the sort of 5 o'clock shadow, and then they cut it and shave it.
So may I?
Yes.
Oh, it actually.
Yeah,
feels
it
like-
is. Yes.
it
That's
feels like
crazy.
razor stubble.
Yes, there is.
How long did it take you before having incredibly life-sized mannequins freaked you out? Like, do you wake up in the middle of the night and?
Linda Blair watches TV with me in the living room.
Oh God.
One of those little Roomba vacuum cleaners.
Yeah.
And it activated once, and it set the motion control of the alarm off. And the sheriff's department came and saw Linda Blair through
Fuck
the
that.
window. And they said, there's a lady and it's not moving. And I had to prove that she was made of silicone. This is very nice. This is a miniature of the Pirates of the Caribbean Captain Bed.
Oh yeah.
I'm a complete Disney freak. I
Yeah.
go to Disneyland 2-3 times a year at least.
Do you hire the person to help you?
So, if I'm going with a group, I try.
I am in possession of far too much shame to do that. to just be like,
Yeah. See, I knew that would
okay,
annoy
so
me. Like, so this is like just like What makes this a wasted opportunity is that he's just like going to be asking silly questions, whereas like he could be really picking his brain about like this stuff, and it could be more interesting.
From TV, he's going to
There's a few
Oh,
medical
great.
things in the house.
And she's from Freaks, yeah?
Yeah, this Cuckoo the bird girl.
Yeah, yeah.
Over there is Johnny Eck, the half.
Oh,
torso
yeah,
man.
from the movie Freaks.
Man,
Oh,
those
look
are
at
so
these
well
all Hellboy guns, yeah?
Oh yeah.
Good home protection.
It's
Come in.
the only hero gun we made for the movie. Pretty big. We used to put a line here to hold the gun when he pointed.
Oh,
because it's
because
so
for the
heavy.
long shot,
Yeah.
because it was so heavy.
Take 5, he was ready to
that
quit.
weakling Ron Perlman.
This is the fantasy and children's story section. Nice.
Oh, look at that. Every house should
And
have.
it's a haunted mansion room.
Oh, it's a haunted mansion?
Yes.
I thought this was just the murder suite.
You got like the scream mask up there.
And he became, for aficionados, he became the favorite ghost.
Oh, I see.
So I had him reproduced life size because
Wow.
it seemed like the reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. Sure, why not? Well, I gotta say the kitchen's kind of disappointing.
It's a kitchen.
The scariest thing are what is in the fridge.
Let's see the pinhead from
Yeah,
Freaks.
From Freaks.
This would be a
Do they
terrible
have
house
do
to
that? Oh
be
my
in.
god! Like,
I feel like just ruined priceless artifacts.
The
left
only
and
thing,
right.
the only thing I drink is flan.
Oh,
So this whole thing is the vampire and werewolf room,
vampire and werewolf room.
which
sure,
is
yeah.
strange,
I
but
mean,
it's.
you know, it is. It's the valley.
And this is Ray Harryhausen, again by Mike Hill,
Wow.
with the skeletons from Jason and the Argonauts making him some tea.
What kind of
That's so
insurance
cool.
do you have on all this?
These are all the robots.
Uh-huh.
Careful. Oh, there you go. Oh, well.
Sorry about that.
I'm going to now find out if my insurance is good.
Well, thank you so much for the tour. It's such a thrill to be able to see it. That's right, Linda's here. Sure, we're going to watch some TV with her. What would you like to see, Linda? Antiques Roadshow.
Yeah.
Antiques Roadshow.
That's her favorite.
oh my god, dude. Only Del Toro would have that bullshit in his fucking living room. Yeah, it's just too bad that Conan show had to do it. Yeah, this is Kojima and Del Toro talking. I'm sure that'll be interesting. Yeah, Del Toro. Oh, there we go. Man, Adam Sandler did more than one of these. Adam Sandler's another dude who's like, you know, such a good dude. Like he's just like he's so cool. Like he made some shit movies, but he also made some great movies. I still haven't seen Uncut Gems, and I hear it's amazing. Ever since I saw him in Punch Drunk Love.
His wife would hang out at the pool I worked at.
Are you serious? Wow. That's crazy. Yeah, like, let's watch this. I'm only oh, that's 50 minutes
He
long.
is a
wow.
member of Hillcrest Country Club.
Oh, wow. Does he live in LA? Are you in LA? I don't know where he lives.
He'd stop by and say hello, super nice guy.
Yeah, no, I hear that he's like, if people like approach him in public, he's just like super cool about it, even though like he must get, because he's recognizable, you know, people notice him. But I hear he's so cool.
Yeah, I used to work in Beverly Hills.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I love Adam Sandler. I love him as a person. He's a great actor too. Like he, I mean,
Yeah. I feel like we should be talking about colonoscopies. I think that's kind of our wheelhouse.
how's this one?
Yeah.
By the way,
Oh, this is like one of the first
I
ones,
always
probably.
wondered because when they put you out,
Yeah.
you were
Yeah.
on your back.
I was on my backish side.
It wasn't till your film,
Yeah. Yeah.
Uncut Gems. That's
Yeah.
a plug. When I realized they just must like push us over while we're out.
Oh man, I'm terrified knowing that because I was awake during that shot, but having to pretend to be asleep.
Well, they don't
That-
spoil it
that
for
was
me.
A real doctor.
Don't spoil
in
the
there,
movie.
and he was talking and he was touching and I wish I was out.
And poking,
Poking, yeah.
prodding, and hey,
you
the
said
things
I
we
was
do
going-
for art.
Yeah.
You gotta suffer.
They say it's in the script. I do it.
This is a great format, dude. Honestly, because like no one relates, or most of the time, no one relates to the interviewer. But like this is a case where like there's two people, and you're basically getting two interviews in one, and they're just chatting. Like it's great.
It's convincing because you looked at.
Yeah,
you
this
had
is neat.
kind of-
I'm going to have to watch these.
How did it take this long to get these? Like how's it taken this long to get this format?
Yeah, I did. I
very
did.
feeble. No,
I know.
No, that's hard to pull
I
off.
was in a weird position. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great, man.
I
It's
can't.
compromising.
It was compromising. I know, man. It's funny. I got shoulder surgery. I played basketball with the guy who did my shoulder surgery, and he looks at me now like he knows something. I'm like, what did you do to me, man? What did you do to me? But the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino.
He's good, that Tarantino.
He's
pretty good.
He's
should
all
keep
right.
going. He should make at least one more.
He should.
I think,
I think
right?
He's
so.
all right.
I think he should make one more.
Exactly, but then he's got to pull the plug.
Yeah.
To
Yes,
me, he's got
exactly.
one more in him,
Yeah.
and then that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I like Pitt too.
Sure. Now you get that script. I know. I've seen Quentin. He goes hardcore at perfection.
No, we need to
in
get-
the
we need to get
script.
Sandler in
the
a-
script
in a
itself,
Tarantino
you
movie.
get that. You get your character. You. What's the first thing you do when you know you're gonna do it?
Well, this one, because the previous one, the script got burned. And so this one, there was just one copy, his first copy, and you'd had to go to his house and read it.
Oh yeah.
And I think the Rick Dalton character had to get cast first before, he was trying to find the pair
I see.
before the Cliff Booth would happen. So the first time I went, it was a nice, clean, crisp script.
Wow.
And I got called back like, I don't know how many weeks later, and it was all dog-eared and
A couple
snot
others.
stained and
Yeah,
coffee
yeah.
cups and
So
yeah.
you got to read it pretty much first. You and
I don't know. I was somewhere.
You were
The
up
script
high.
was pretty clean
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
first
yeah,
got
you
there.
started out,
When
yeah.
I got the job, it was pretty well used. It was,
Yeah.
it was pretty dirty.
And the dialogue itself is you got
Tarantino's different. Tarantino, me, who's never done Shakespeare,
Yes.
but there's there is a specific rhythm.
Right,
they
right,
talk about the.
Right.
And I found that with the Coen brothers, and I find that with Tarantino, that there is a very particular, music to it. And where, some jobs we do, we get to riff, and that's great. We
right.
make it natural, and we
Right.
put our little
Right.
interesting bits in it,
Yeah,
and,
yes.
and we make it our own. But here, I find it only just like, it lets the air out of the tire, and
That's right.
stuff goes,
Yeah, you feel it. Yeah.
yeah.
That's so fun.
It's
Man,
one of the few scripts. He's one of the few writers that I've read where you get it, you can hear it immediately.
yes,
it's
for
so
sure.
specific.
For sure. Yes.
He's also like, when you're out somewhere and you like, I describe his writing this way: when you're, and you have an embarrassing moment or you get ripped, you don't, you're not sharp on the comeback. When you're driving home, you think of the perfect comeback, and you're like, whoa.
Yes, he has that.
He has it.
laid out for you.
Yeah.
Man, even that bagel thing at the end when you said you can bring a bagel. That was so funny. That was so funny.
Often
Was that
obscure
your last line in the movie or something? It was something. I
Close to it.
try.
That's
I try.
close to it.
Man, you were
But
funny.
that's him. That's.
Yeah, it was a good one. I think
definitely
that
Mr.
might
Tarantino.
have been a little bit of the valley of knowing a lot about L.A. and also the fact that he married an Israeli girl. The bagel was on his mind when he was putting this together. Maybe that was a connection.
Didn't
there.
question it.
No.
I just liked it because it didn't.
It just was so strong that he's like, "Let me be alone. You're
It
just
made
gonna waste
sense
your
without,
time with me."
without making sense.
Yeah.
It's official, old buddy.
So this is like long, but it kind of needs to be because they probably have a lot of movies to go over with each other. I think I pick up an error in like 10 minutes, but I'm just gonna watch a little bit more of it. I'll be right back when.
What are you
we get it, though.
talking about? What did that guy tell you? Told me the goddamn truth is what he told me. Whoa. Hey, I'm sorry about that.
Man, scene after scene was making me laugh. It was, to me, it's not a full-on comedy, but my goodness. I saw Conan O'Brien, and I was at a hotel. I was talking to him, and he just got done seeing it. And we talked about the movie, and we were both going, man, that was so funny. This was so funny. it's got the rhythm of a comedy kind of.
What, Quentin's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
well, thank you coming from you, because
Thank you.
you know that stuff. But it's
Yeah.
a different kind of humor, isn't it? It's kind of, it's a
yes.
subtle, it's
It's
a
subtle.
wry.
It's also makes you want to be you
It's
and your.
behavioral.
Yeah. Well, the Bruce Lee scene, man, you just laughing on the side and just getting excited about a guy boasting and just being of all people. I've seen those guys hang out before, the stuntmen sitting on the side.
And Zeller seems like almost
and
nervous
we
compared
do
to like when he was with
always
Brendan
go,
Fraser,
"Oh, those
because Brendan
guys are
Fraser's
the
like
coolest
closer
guys
into
on the
his.
set. They are.
We all know.
We all know that. Yeah, they're so much cooler than.
And by the way, I'm so happy they're there. I rely on them for every scene. I'm the opposite of. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, 100. I am getting
I
some
have
nervous
no.
vibes.
Like,
Yeah, it's like
pride
he's
in
like.
doing my own stunt. I'm
You
like,
could tell like he's like either nervous or like he has a lot of respect for him or something.
I'll be rooting for you, buddy.
I'd run right over to him after and go, way to go, baby.
Oh, he's Brad
That was
Pitt. I mean, like,
amazing.
it's hard not to be nervous in the same room with him. Even though you're Adam Sandler, Adam Sandler's huge too.
I'm trying to be funny. If the stunt guys are laughing, I'm like, all right, the stunt guys thought it was good. Everything's good. Exactly.
But when you do comedies, what I've noticed about, you usually have a group and you guys are used to riffing. You guys will try another line.
Right.
And another line.
Sure.
And then another take, you'll throw out another, look for that capper or something.
You're always looking for a big out.
Do you bring that same thing when you get to a drama or a serious thing?
Not really. I let those guys, the Safdie brothers, I let them have total. I throw thoughts out there, and I talk to them during the pre-production and stuff, and then on the day they'll say, "Try this, try that. Maybe don't be so upset there, and see what happens there." We did, and not like with the Quentin. We did go off the script a little bit, mostly script, but then on occasion. Before action, I would be back in a different room about to enter a set, and the Safdie guys would say, "Hey, maybe say this when you go out there, see what happens," And we went off like that a few times. That got in there.
I just figured that would be amazing training because it takes a while to be able to get that loose where you can.
Yeah.
And in
It's like the shoes they're wearing like fashion at the time. Like they're both wearing like slip-on shoes or something. Like it's very weird.
The lines don't have to be different, but your approach is different.
Like is that cool?
Your tone
looks comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just thought that would be. I was really impressed with you guys the way you do that, and I thought that's
last
really
season.
that's the way to approach a scene.
I see you out there when the stadium's all booing you. You're 30 up, you're still going full tilt.
I really want to see this
Let's see
movie.
what Vegas. What has Vegas got you guys at tonight? Take a look. Let's see.
I hear it's great.
Put this up right here. Look at this. The Sixers are supposed to win the game tonight.
It's so funny because when you do a scene and you got to cover a scene and do the master and blah, 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 and shoot, there's nothing better than somebody coming up with a new line. All of a sudden, it's like the freshest thing to you. You say that new line, you're like, can you give me 5 more new lines? Because I think I'm getting stiff here with this other stuff, And that was nice.
He's just like so not his characters he plays.
He would just be throwing out.
Right
now.
Yes, exactly. That's how a lot of the comedians and the comedy directors do it. It's like you got a list of a couple of comedy writers in the background going blah, 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 handing it to the director. Director screams out, maybe try saying this, and then you either say that line or something close to it, and it does create a...
But the point, what I took note is, I once saw Tony Hopkins. We were doing the scene, this was mid-90s or 97 or something. And the scene wasn't working for him. I mean, for me, I thought it was great. But for me, it wasn't working. And he turned around, he turned his back to us all for about 30 seconds and turned back around. And he did it, he just came in, it was just a completely different tone.
All right.
The words were the same, but the tone was different. It was glorious. And I've always made a point since then to like keep trying to mess up the intention of the scene or
Yes, right.
And that's what I drew from whenever I see the comedy guys like riffing like that. It's always fresh, it's fresh.
Yes, and if you know you're gonna get a few shots at it in your head, it frees up so much where you go, I can't play with this stuff and come at it with different directions and stuff. When you're on the move and it's pressing, all right, we got to get this shot and get out of there. Then you do sort of make a decision like, I better Better
Yeah.
Let me give him my A take.
Yeah.
or we're gonna end up with something that's not enough energy or whatever. But it is cool. But
Well, maybe it's different because when I get into a drama, it's don't necessarily know the answer again, and again, it's such a subtle. It's about feeling what you feel, what you feel from the scene.
oh yes, and what the other
And so
person
that I find
brings you.
it kind of search and destroy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. We did a few scenes in Gems where when I'm at home working on it and I'm alone working on it, it's one thing, and then all of a sudden you're with the other actor, you're meeting eyes, you're like, oh man, this is bringing like a whole other feeling up, and it's either working or not, but it is different. You never. That's usually when I feel I did something right where I was there in the moment when you're locking in with somebody.
When you surprise yourself.
Yes, and you let yourself say, okay, well, that was real at least. I don't know if it made 100% sense for the scene, but I was there and I felt what I was supposed to.
Well, that's always my argument, that if it's real for you, it's going to read real.
You ever seen Punch Drunk Love, Corey?
The camera reads that. And I just wondered how
It's
you
a PTA movie, a Paul
comedy.
Thomas Anderson movie.
Is it the same? Is it
fucking amazing?
Right. I think
He's
so.
amazing.
I think so. I think you try to make it make sense to the story and your
Sorry, which
character and
movie?
whatever you pick.
It's called Punch Drunk Love.
The realer, the better. But
It's like the first role he did,
and
where
there
like
are
he did
guys who
like
come at
a
it where they step back from
like
the
something
being real
non-comedic,
and
but
you
it's
do
funny in its own way.
something
But
bananas,
it's like
and
it's
funnier than anything
amazing.
you could
Saw
do,
it
so.
ages
But
ago.
like,
Okay.
well, I would say,
long as
you
you've
know,
seen
I see that in
Don't
some
remember
of your
much about it,
other
though.
stuff, like the really irreverent ones like Zohan and stuff.
Right,
like,
right.
But I equate
You at
that
least
to
remember his
like Will
tantrums he would
Ferrell,
throw?
you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's incredible at
It's
that.
but it's still, there's truth in
He's always looks
what
like
he's
the
making
guy
fun
you know.
of, you know?
Yes.
And there's
He
truth in what
always
you're
looks
making fun
in
of.
the scene as that guy, as whoever person he's playing. You believe Will Ferrell is
I remember more
in
from
that
Billy
situation and being
Oh, sure,
put
yeah.
upon
I watched
or
Billy
taken
Madison like
over
100
or
times as a
whatever he
kid.
does. He is incredible at that.
Well, what I love, but you are too, you guys are making fun of truthful situations.
Right,
It can
right.
get absurd, it can get bananas, but there's truth in the
Yes,
thing.
yes, you try.
But all right, back to Uncut Gems.
Yes,
I'm a
okay.
little obsessed with comedy right now. That's why I'm
I know. I
I'm
love
banging
that.
on your door that way.
I love when you. Yes, I
but
love that you like
but
that
this
stuff.
movie, first
Yeah.
of all, hats off, man.
Thank
that was
you,
phenomenal.
buddy. I'm so happy you liked it. man.
I had such anxiety
Like,
watching.
Pete Davidson, like in his Hot Ones episode, like he was saying like it's his favorite movie of all time. Like he loved it so much. Like he was like, it's my favorite movie of all time. Like hands down. Like, wow, is that good? Okay, I want to see it now.
Yeah,
It looked like a ball to make,
It was.
except
it was.
for the panic scenes. It
There
looked
was
really
some
difficult.
heavy moments. Yes, yeah, sure. But there was so many people in every scene. It was so rat-tat-tat, everybody going nuts, and it was alive most of the time.
It was alive.
Yeah.
It was noisy. It was chaotic.
It was,
Everyone.
right.
It was a lot of energy going.
Yes, yeah.
Like very kinetic.
Yeah, man.
But oh my, watching it, oh my God, I was so anxious.
Yeah, right.
Your
right,
guy,
right.
you know, watching
Yes.
someone, you know, the way they describe an airline disaster is like a series of bad mistakes. It's
Right,
never like
right.
one mistake.
Sure.
And when you watch, you're like,
Yes, yeah.
just a man, just keep making
Oh, yeah.
bad choices.
Yeah, that's right. It's so funny too because you know when you're shooting, it's scene to scene. It's.
Have you seen Bullet
In the
Train?
morning, you shoot
No.
one scene and you
Oh,
go, oh,
sounds
that's
familiar, though.
where he makes that wrong.
David Leitch. Oh, it's newer. Yes, that's why I remember. It's familiar. Oh, the hell! It's a lot of characters. Are they in Tokyo? Or like Hong Kong or some shit? Oh, Bullet Train. That's in Tokyo, right? So I guess I answered my own question. Yeah, check it out. Is it on? It's on. It usually says what it's on here. Based on a book. I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my Nero. I'll be like in 15 minutes. My beer back stream will say 30 minutes, but it'll be more like 15.
I'll catch you later.
All right, man. If
Gonna
you're
hop
around,
in a race.
all right, man. Good luck in your race. Get first place. Just don't try. Do.
Through unforgiving lands, across the impossible expanse, a mirage calls, a distant oasis. We chase what most consider myth. Pursue an obsession. That's what pushes us to greatness. The Oasis. It's real. The 400i by Origin Jumpworks.
They say that some things just don't go out of style. That the true classics never die. Touring, exploration, combat, and now introducing long-haul freight. The all-new Roberts Space Industries Constellation Taurus still does it all.
At Crusader Industries, we believe that our values are more than a standard of behavior. They're our legacy and our inspiration. We don't defend them through sheer size or firepower alone. We ally ourselves with those who share our core beliefs. We make sure the real heroes make it to where they're needed most. At Crusader Industries, we know that lifting up others benefits us all.
kidnapped. Do you want me to give you back? Not particularly. Whoa! Whoa, not a good idea! Where's your co-pilot anyway? Mal? Really not a good idea! I think we lost him. I think something's on fire back there. We had some wild times on this ship, huh? Remember when Sorrelease tried to steal it?
Which time? He always had a weird fixation on the duck.
Think he still does?
No, I heard he's dead.
So are we if you don't get back up here? Those miscreants caught up.
Hi-yi-yi. Just get in the damn turret.
Come on, you bushwhacking Ranus, let's go!
Gonna shoot or talk to him? You gonna get me in a position? You see that?
Do I still got it? Or do I still got it?
Sulo Pindo.
T-A-E-A.
Your Banu is terrible. And I told you, they're programmed to recognize my voice.
T-A-E-A. How much are the deacons paying for me anyway?
You aren't gonna talk your way out of this one, buddy.
I can get you money, you know? Hey, think about it. Pop these cups, you and me get back on the duck, and we'll go rob the damn Central Core Bank. Come on, Dugan, it'll be just like old times. Be like we never left Lago. Or not.
Mad dog! So happy to see you back safe and sound. She's displeased. I can tell. See, normally, when you abandon your crew to be taken by the police, you're not expecting to see them again.
Happy I could facilitate this reunion. Now, about those advocates.
Ah, yes. The authorization codes. These were not easy to come by. But well worth the trouble.
Codes? You traded me for damn access codes?
You're more than welcome to stick around. See how this all plays out. I can assure you, this will be long and painful. Should be fun.
I really should be,
What's the matter, Dugan? Got another old cohort to sell out?
Gonna hit up a Banu slave market or two? You know what, Zen? Just because we did a few jobs together way back, doesn't mean I owe you anything. The Banu have a word for backstabbers like you. Hi-yi-yi!
Get them! Get off of them!
What was that about? You couldn't clue me into your little plan? This way! Not this way! Over there! Cyclone!
Got it, Mass. There's no way the deacon's caught up that fast.
Been a long time.
Sorry, Liege. I heard you were dead.
Never better. Got a message this morning from an old acquaintance. You will never guess who.
I have a couple of ideas.
Look, Deacon, I didn't know you were gonna spring me from the deacons.
Yeah, well, to be honest, neither did I. Get in the turret. Give it a 10 count and then unleash hell. Hang in there, Mass, just a little while longer.
Come on, Dugan! Can we kill you to fly a little less crazy?
I don't know what you're griping about. I just liberated you from those miscreants.
More like kidnapped.
Do you want me to give you back?
Not particularly. Whoa, not a good idea! Where's your co-pilot anyway? Mal? Mal? Really not a good idea?
I think we lost him.
I think something's on fire back there.
Hush.
We had some wild times on this ship, huh? Remember when Sir Elise tried to steal it?
Which time? He always had a weird fixation on the duck.
Think he still does?
No, I heard he's dead.
So are we if you don't get back up here? Those miscreants caught up.
Hi-yi-yi. Just get in the damn turret.
Come on, you bushwhacking Ranus, let's go!
Gonna shoot him or talk to him? You gonna get me in a position? You see that?
Do I still got it? Or do I still got it?
Sulo Pindo.
T-A-E-I.
Your banner is terrible. And I told you, they're programmed to recognize my voice.
T-A-E-I. How much are the deacons paying for me anyway?
You aren't gonna talk your way out of this one, buddy.
Maybe you're into touring the galaxy's more out-of-the-way destinations. or you're known for your speed and tenacity. You always deliver. Perhaps you're a peacemaker, taming a wild galaxy. Whatever calls to you, choose your lifestyle. With the 100 series from Origin.
After eating the bear's breakfast, Goldilocks explored their house. She saw 3 chairs and wanted badly to rest her feet. But the first chair she tried was much too small. So she tried the second chair, and it was much too big. But when she tried the third chair, she found that it was just right.
In a dangerous galaxy, who can you trust to watch your back? Drake's Cutlass Blue lets you take the law into your own hands. With all the attitude you expect from a Cutlass. Formidable suppression options offering a range of lethality, supercharged thrusters, plus an integrated quantum dampener and onboard containment system. The Cutlass Blue. Bad news for the bad guys. Only from Drake.
With courage. For honor. In strength.
To glory.
My father always used to say I had wanderer's legs. We all wonder, what's out there? But for me, it was more than that. A stranger in my own world. I set out to find my path. Through all my travels, through all the trials of the unknown, I came to realize that there was really only one thing I've been looking for. A place to call home. My father always used to say I had wanderer's legs. We all wonder, what's out there? But for me, it was more than that. A stranger in my own world, I set out to find my path. Through all my travels,
Wrong decision. Okay, let's concentrate on that. But as a whole, when you watch the movie back, you're like, oh yeah, it does get on you, man. You feel terrible the guy can't get it together.
But doing it, though, isn't there a certain perverse freedom
Yeah.
in it?
Oh my
like
God,
playing
yes.
it? Isn't there a sense of fun?
This was probably the most free I could ever be in a movie. He made so many mistakes and was so unlikable at times, and that
He was never unlikable.
Well,
never.
In my head he was, but I'm glad.
He was never unlikable.
Yeah, that's good to know.
In fact, you worried for him, and that's why it was so like
that's great.
Anxiety
That's
producing.
Great. Yeah, that was shockingly cool to get to be that guy.
I think you are the most annoying person I have ever met. I hate being with you. I hate looking at you. And if I had my way, I would never see you again.
It's because you're mad. You're mad, and it makes sense.
You know, this is something one of my favorite things you've ever done is Punch Drunk Love.
Yeah.
With PTA.
Sure.
And
he's the man.
But there's something in everything you do. I mean, we go way back.
Yeah.
But what I love about, it's what I love most in people. But what I'm trying to say is, there's always a kindness that you bring to all your characters. There's a kindness of heart in the back of it. It's why you care for your man and Uncut Gems so much, and you worry for him so much.
That's amazing, because there are times I think I'm being strong. I think I'm being in my head.
You are.
But
you are being strong,
right?
And you're being making.
There's something no matter what I do that it's a little like something about me slightly goofy at all times. So it kind of makes you go. I don't know. He's off a little bit. Something
He's
weird.
definitely off. No, you're definitely off. No question.
Yeah. I try not to be, but it turns out that it goes that way.
But there's this thing underneath. Sorry, you were going to say?
I want to talk about you. That's why.
Okay. We're not getting off you just yet.
Okay. Yes.
But there is this. I don't know. It's something that's unexplainable. It's probably something you're not aware of. I mean, you have a reputation for being very kind, very honorable, and honorable with friends. I don't think that's so known out in the old universe.
Yeah.
And I got great respect for that, but it reads in the characters, and that's why I love Punch Drunk Love so much, because it's so embodied in that character. He's so.
Oh yeah, that guy is
such.
Having
warmth and
he's wanting something too. Yeah, I know. That's that.
Yeah, he's trying. He's trying so hard.
And well, I have that. Okay, but let me just, of course, can I just say, watching you, we're going to talk about Hollywood now. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But your character to me, so, again. Like you're saying about me, I thought your guy was so warm, so kind, loved Leo's character, was his brother, made Leo feel proud of his performance as his character. I love that you sat and that was so funny when he said, "You want to watch me the show?" And you're like, "Well, I can think of nothing else I'd rather do," or something, whatever the line was. It just was so genuinely loving. Like, that's my buddy. He loves when I watch and tell him how he's doing a good job. And that was the best. That was a real friendship. It reminded me of a lot of friendships that me and you have mutual friends. It reminded me of my feelings for the guys we hang out with. It was just like, he needs something. He needs a friend. He needs something dependable in his life. You were so dependable for Leo. Even when he had to say goodbye to you, and when he got married, and he was having a hard time saying goodbye. Just the fact that you guys get back together so quick. You're with him. You're just with him all the time. He's like, I can't not be with this guy. He's my rock.
I know, but don't you have those people who?
Oh yeah.
I know you do.
Yeah.
Friends of 30 years who.
Yes.
It's in between. It's the downtime, isn't it?
Man.
That can be torturous or joyful. It's those people.
Oh God, yeah.
We rely on so much those friendships out here.
Even when in one of the best scenes when the guy punctures your tire, there's like pain. You're like, besides the fact that we're so excited to watch you possibly pummel this guy, because we saw what you're capable with a fight earlier in the movie. Just like the fact that he damaged your buddy's car, and you're like, man, you can't do that, man. That's it. Like, it hurts you. Like, besides it being a job for you, you're like, it means a lot to him, that car. That was great.
It was nice playing a guy with who had kind of evolved past drama. So there was never, those, like, some of the scenes, you had panic scenes in Uncut Gems.
Right.
Where you're in full panic breakdown mode, like you're scared for your life, like it could the walls could come tumbling down, and those mornings when you go in and you gotta put yourself in that position. It's an exhausting kind of day. You know what you're up for. You're up for a 15-round fight.
Right.
When they're only 12 rounds now. And And like it was almost a bit of a joy not to, this was a guy who'd found his, found his
you
peace.
were at peace,
He
man.
was like,
Your character was very...
listen, I'll look for the best in people.
Oh, man.
I expect the worst.
Oh, my
surprise
God.
me, and if not, we'll deal with it as it comes along. And that was like,
well, that's what
no
made you
hassle in
love
the
this
castle.
guy so much. He's so confident and cool, and your days alone when you would drop Leo off at the set and be like, I got some errands to make, and just those drives when you would see one of the young hippie girls hitchhiking and having a little eye contact session. It was just so, you were so happy for like, all right, he's getting to enjoy his day a little bit. He's flirting, having fun.
Well, look, Red, I'm coming in there. With my own 2 eyes, I'm gonna get a good look at George. And this ain't stopping me.
So I was thinking too, when I watched Ad Astra and I saw you had so many days where, first of all, the way it was shot was incredible.
Hoyte van Hoytema, one
Good
of our best.
Lord.
Yeah, beautiful.
Good Lord.
And James Gray, but
yeah.
He's one of our best.
My God, man. And just the timing of like the shield of the helmet coming into where we actually see your face from it, and your emotions were so powerful. And I was thinking the same thing with you. Like, you had so many days where you had to be in the trailer before going out and being like, oh no, here we go again.
Yeah.
This one's a rough moment too.
Yeah.
You didn't have any calm moments in that movie.
Yeah,
that was a that was a tough shoot, huh?
Yeah, that was not, it's interesting because of the, what you're exploring, but it takes a toll. I mean, I'm not complaining, but you just know what you're in for. You know? You know what you're in for when you sign up for it and what it's going to be, and really grateful when you come out the other end.
Yes,
but yeah, those were those kind of days where you got to be in, you got to put yourself in that. Whatever's personal for you.
Right.
Whatever the upset is in the scene. Tonally, you have to. You got to be there.
Yeah, I know,
so
I know.
Me,
and
I don't know how you get there. What do you do?
I hope to get there. Booze. When that has happened, that has worked every time. But yeah, but when I don't do it, it's in Uncut Gems, I've had movies where I had to break down before. And I get really nervous about those days. If it's a couple of days or so, I mean, I'm not kidding you.
Leading up to it?
Leading up to it, I'll say, when is that? When are they shooting that scene? Is that...
Counting down on the call sheet when you see them?
Yeah, exactly. It screws me up a
the
little.
third week, I know I'm approaching that, and I got to be up for it.
And then once you do it, and if you get there, you're like, whew, the rest is... Then you're like, no, you still got to get...
Next week, there's...
You got to be... Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how
I do the same negotiation.
It's
check.
Yeah.
Check.
I actually... I didn't do as much as I usually do where I put this pressure on myself. I just said, I'm feeling like this guy. I really did my backstory. I worked hard at this character and knowing the way he thinks and where he goes in my head. I felt confident that I knew the guy. So I was a little more confident than usual on the days he had a really awful day where I had to break down or whatever. I was just like, let me just go. Let me just do it. Instead of doing that whole thing of worrying, I've just did my own way of getting there. And I called my wife and I said, all right, today I'm there. I got to do this. And she gave me some thoughts and blah, blah, blah. And so I was good. It was great. I got it done. But it's funny.
No, it plays.
Thanks.
It plays.
Thanks, buddy. I mean, I saw those close-ups. I saw you always had this so much baggage going on in your head and every facial expression, even when you weren't moving, even when it was such a still shot, it was very effective. You were, I could just tell you were deep in something the whole movie.
Yeah, that was, I talked to James before going in, because it was such an insular and lonely kind of existence in the abyss of space and where we were going to end up. I told him, I asked him, I see this as very, very, very still. I'm going to see how still we can be, and when it gets flat, just pull me out.
Yeah, because that loneliness was there. You were lonely and you were in pain and there was something constantly going on. It's like there were, I can't remember the particular scene, but when you look at that video of your dad the first time and see what he said and
masturbate.
done.
Yeah, it's weird. It was a weird move, but I thought it said something about specific.
No,
that was universal.
I loved the masturbation was wonderful.
What can you tell us about the Lima project?
First manned expedition to the outer solar system, sir. Some 29 years ago.
And the commander was?
He was my father, sir.
It reminded me a lot when you found out something about your dad and it crushed you because you had a belief about one thing your whole life growing up, and then all of a sudden you hit with something else. It's when my father's funeral, when my father passed away, and after the funeral, and I love, you know I love my dad a lot.
You guys are very close.
We were tight. And then you have people coming up to you and telling you their own stories about your dad and them, and you're just like, what happened? It is a shocking feeling to get hit with stuff you didn't know about your father.
Like,
just stuff that you didn't want to know. And stuff that he did that was totally out of character. It is a shocking, weird change. But anyways, yeah, old Tommy Lee was great in the movie too, huh? Goodness.
Yeah, he's another one. Just like, I didn't think some of the dialogue actually even worked on paper. I was talking to James. James, we got to work this for him.
Right.
He comes in, nope.
With courage. For honor. In strength.
To glory.
My father always used to say I had wanderer's legs. We all wonder, what's out there? But for me, it was more than that. a stranger in my own world. I set out to find my path.
I would like to go first because I got to give love to my fellow NYU filmmaker. Let me go first.
Fine with me.
It is my honor and pleasure to be having this discussion, this dialogue, this conversation with one of the great filmmakers of all time, my NYU brother, Oliver Stone. I went to NYU because of Scorsese and Stone, the two S's. So, Oliver, I want to
Spielberg.
thank you for doing this.
Oh, he
I
went
know
to
you're very busy.
UCLA.
And I also like to say that I was born March 20th, 1957. So 67 on, the height of the Vietnam War, I was just a kid. And you were there. You weren't doing this from reading a book or somebody telling you that. You were there, Oliver. And a large part of my new film, The Five Bloods, I learned from you, from Platoon, Born on the 4th of July, and Heaven and Earth.
Well, Spike, I love the film. It's such a crazy film, and it's so you, that it makes me, again, look at all your work and see how fucking crazy you are, and I love it. You take big chances, man. Big chances all the way down the line.
Oliver, come on, pat yourself on the back too. You're just as crazy as me.
Well,
let's keep it real.
Whenever I talk to you, I always feel like it's easier for you. You always you're smooth, man. You go over all the bumps pretty well, and sometimes I let the bumps get to me, but.
Well, Oliver, this is what I tell my students, and you know the same. We're in a fucking tough business.
Oh yeah. Well, you've done well. You've done well. I guess I've done well, and you've established a name, a brand, a way of filmmaking that is very rare. Let's talk about The Five Bloods, which blew me away. I've seen it twice now, and
I just like to tell everybody, Oliver was one of the first people I spoke to after the film came out. And I'm gonna be honest, everyone, I was very nervous what my brother was gonna think about this because again, 67, 68, I'm 10, I'm a peepsqueak. I don't know shit. And you were there. So I was very, very on edge. How are you gonna, if you're gonna dig the film? And
Merry
then you
Christmas,
just
Ari.
gave me a great big,
Harry.
big love hug
Oh,
over
God.
the phone. So I want to thank you for that.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Harry.
well, as you know, I worked on the project before you came into it, and Lloyd, the producer.
I found another series I love now, Alex.
Lloyd Levin, yeah, a very nice man, and he had this kind of
So,
crazy idea.
like this format, it's like I don't know why we didn't get this before because you're basically getting two interviews in one, and you're cutting out the middleman. You just have two people, like two directors or two actors, like just talking about their work together. You know what I mean? Like this. How is this like? So here's something interesting about this. Real quick. By the way, Corey enlightened my brain earlier. If you middle mouse click on links, dude, it opens a new tab. You don't have to right click and then do it. You just middle mouse click it. I didn't know that. So look at this. All right. So these have a little more views, but look at, so I think that these are starting. So there are many episodes. Like Actors and Actors only has 10 episodes or so. And wait, what? Yeah. Directors on Directors only has about 10 or so episodes, right? Not very many views. But
The Oscars do roundtables like this every year.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of those, but I think this is, as a series, like this is great. Like this is great. So there's a big disparity, and like this just came out, and then the Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler one just came out, and there's like a lot more views on those comparatively with the other ones. So I'm hoping this series blows up. I'm hoping that people start watching this, to allow them to keep doing it, because they do them pretty, you know, it's pretty spaced out. Or was this only Oscars related? Is that where it came from? No. Well, anyway.
Your script, but I like the idea very much of going back to Vietnam.
I mean, a roundtable's a bit much. I think that one-on-one is better. I don't really like the interviews where there's like a bunch of people there because it's too much to cover. I've seen those before.
Man, and taking on this.
There's too many people trying to talk.
Sierra Madre kind of feeling, going for these old guys who've been kind of never had success in life back in the world, and they get together, they bond.
All right, I'm getting
they
horizontal.
go back to find the treasure.
Getting
but
horizontal.
things go wrong, as in Treasure of the Sierra Madre. Greed emerges, all kinds of problems.
Oh, you're going to bed. All right, good night.
Going to bed.
All right, good night.
For every single black boot that never made it home. Now let's bury our gold.
Hey.
I never was able to solve it in the way I was satisfactory to me with those characters that we had. You solved it.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Way because you went
Merry Christmas, you
black.
filthy animal.
The movie is a love poem to Black Vietnam soldiers. And that's what you're doing when I see the movie. To me, it's exclusively about that experience, not necessarily in reality, but it transcends reality because it's a love poem. And that's what I get from it. I mean, it's an insane movie, and I love the insanity of it. It's probably not realistic in the sense of that happened, but that's part of the style of the movie. It's grand guignol, and it works for me. You have to accept it on these conditions. You don't have to think about all the, does that plot point hang together or that plot point hang together? It hangs together in the sense of its poetry.
The soul sister and soul brothers are enraged in over 122 cities. They kill them. Why you fight against us?
I sat through that movie. I didn't know what the fuck was going to happen next. I did not know. And that's amazing because you really keep everybody off. You keep me off balance. Nothing cliched, nothing predictable. Some things don't get resolved, but that's okay. You know, you're taking enormous chances with this movie. And you don't give a fuck. I mean, you really fly. You're flying very fast.
Let me ask you this, Oliver, and thank you for those comments. I really appreciate it. Again, I don't think a lot of people knew that originally Lloyd Levin brought this script. I think it was called The Last Tour.
That's right.
To my brother Oliver. You've done the trilogy, Platoon, Born in the 4th of July, which I think is, in my opinion, Cruise's best performance, in my opinion, ever. And you got that out of him in Heaven and Earth. Have you thought about, can I go back one more time? Or are you done?
Well, I tried the fourth time before this movie. Lloyd came to me sometime in 2011 or 12. I was trying to make Pinkville in 2007. Pinkville is the story of My Lai massacre.
Right.
So we did a tremendous amount of research and we got all the equipment together. It was a huge undertaking. We were about 3 weeks from shooting when the money fell out. It was during the financial crisis, and it was an independent company like at that time. And they folded. And Bruce Willis was supposed to be one of the stars, and he got cold feet. So you know that feeling. For me, it was a heartbreaker. You know, and then I said never again. But then Lloyd came to me years later with this script that was fun, and I said it should be an adventure movie. Let's go for it. I didn't have the moral mission on this that you had, because for you it was about this conceived idea of what the Black soldier had gone through in Vietnam. You make the point in the movie about 11% of the population. You say 30% of the troops in Vietnam
during the height of the war.
During the height of the war.
Height of the war was a third. And at the same time, 10% of the American population were African American.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, that's a big number, but it certainly makes sense. And although you make them heroes in a sense, but they're also very vulnerable. Otis, Clark Peters, is a man who's softer, tender, has a relationship with a Vietnamese woman, Chien. Of course, Delroy Lindo is the Humphrey Bogart of the role.
Did he bring like Bogart?
Oh yeah, absolutely, and beyond. I mean, I'll tell you, it's such a crazy movie. What you do with
I love
Delroy
Spike's
has not
energy,
been
man. He's
done
like,
with a filmmaker.
"You bring
ever,
like Bogart?"
in sense of it's beyond. He goes into this monologue at the end of the movie, which I think it goes on and on and on, but over different time periods, and it culminates when you realize that he's digging his grave in front of these bandits who are interested in the gold, but they say it's our gold, which is he sees them as Viet Cong come back to haunt him. It's quite, the monologue is amazing and shot in many different styles. And of course, culminates in a very sad, like Bogart, he gets killed by the bandits, yes.
That came directly from Tres Ceremage, where they make the ones that caught the bandits, they made them dig their own graves.
The difference is, of course, Bogart dies the same. Paranoid, selfish motherfucker. With Delroy, he goes through an amazing transformation. He knows something's wrong with him. He knows it from the beginning, and he references it at times. He brings it up. I'm fucked up. I can't adapt.
I see ghosts. What happens to all of us, man? Oh, you seen them too? Yeah. Dad come to you at night.
And his child now shows up in Vietnam to help him. Another crazy twist. And this whole relationship between father and son plays out. You have so many plot lines going in this movie that's perhaps too much for some people, but it's part of your boldness.
Well, look, as I said before, in film school, NYU, Scorsese was there ahead of you, but you and Marty were the guys we studied. And when we went to NYU, because of you and Marty, we didn't want to go to AFI. We didn't want to go to USC. We wanted to go to NYU.
Well, NYU had that low budget reputation. It was it was not the USC and all those schools had AFI.
Yeah, they're doing big budget.
They had big money. They had cameras to shoot. They had much better equipment than we ever had. We had to struggle. We were a guerrilla outfit, I guess. And at least in the old days, we made films, pasted it together, with glue and paper clips. You had to do it yourself. I liked that way of working. It taught us a lot.
Yeah.
Always chasing the light. We had very few lights. Did you make films there? You made 3 or 4?
Yeah, I was, my thesis film won the Student Cameo Award.
And how is it?
And that's, but I went to NYU grad film.
Oh,
not undergrad.
I see.
Undergrad, I went to Morehouse College. And Ang Lee and Ernest Dickerson were my classmates. We were in the same class. Class of 82.
Oh, there you go. Ang Lee is pretty sharp. 82.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about 11 years after I got out of there. But it was I was getting the GI Bill, so it was a very low budget kind of place. It was, Marty was an unknown, he wasn't famous.
Oliver, if I may ask you, what are you working on now? I'm waiting for the next Oliver Stone joint. I'm waiting for the next Oliver Stone joint.
Well, frankly, it's been you're working with Netflix, I guess, and I guess they treated you okay, right?
They did great. There was no one else to go to.
Yeah.
Everyone else said no.
I have not found a home yet just haven't. I haven't been inspired either to make a film. I guess it's been such a rough journey that sometimes, you get you lose your.
But you're doing the docs though. You're doing your doc series, right?
Doing documentaries because they're important.
Yeah. I love those.
Direct, and I can go right to the audience and say this, and even there I'm having problems. But I'm doing one on energy, and I'm doing one on JFK.
What is the status? Because I've heard you. I'm very interested in what is the status of the JFK documentary?
Well, the 4 hours that we did is very powerful, and it's based on the facts that came out of the movie. The movie kicked off the Assassination Records Review Board for 5 years.
Yeah.
Financed by Congress. They were not empowered to investigate, but they were empowered to clarify, and they did the best they could with these limitations. And the facts that they presented, we go into. It makes the case harder, tighter. It's about real facts that are shocking to people.
So you can find a home for this document?
Not yet. It's not for the American side of it. Khan invited us for July or June of this year.
Yeah.
And that's a big step for us, because at least if it can't be recognized in America as a document, it will be recognized in the end by international people. And that's important.
I want to tell the audience a story. And this is where you really helped me out. You may not remember this, Oliver. I was at Warner Brothers in post-production while you were finishing JFK.
Oh, yeah.
And we showed them a 4-hour cut the same day of the Rodney King verdict.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was bananas. The same day. And afterwards, we knew we weren't going to be able to have a 4-hour film in the theater. But we wanted to see the 4-hour cut. So afterwards, I said, how long is JFK? And on my mother's grave, they said, we're working with Oliver. It's 2 hours. I said, okay. Then I called you up. You might not remember this. I called you up.
What?
I said, my brother Oliver, how long is JFK? You said 3 hours, but don't tell him I told you. True story. True story. True story. On my mother's grave, that's a true story.
Yeah, because I hadn't come out yet. Yeah, it was 3 hours and 8 minutes, as I remember. And
another thing, when I did Malcolm X, you also allowed me to use the clip of JFK when Denzel gets this great performance.
Yeah.
And when he got in trouble with the nation, he made a speech talking about the assassination. He said, "This is America where it's coming to when chickens come home to roost."
Yeah.
And right there, we cut to the clip of the assassination. And thank you for giving me that clip of JFK to put right behind Denzel as Malcolm X saying that.
Well, that was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Now you've been helping me. You don't know how much you've been helping me. I appreciate it.
Well, it was an important film, and I'm glad you made it. And I'm glad that Warner Brothers gave you the support it did. At least it got out there, which, I don't know if we could do that today, except on television with Netflix. I'm not sure that they would release a large film like that. I'm not sure.
I just want to say, JFK is such a brave film. And one day, I hope you get to tell the story behind making that film. That's a documentary in itself.
If I get another book out, it'll be there. I wanted to ask you, why did you use the older actors to play the younger versions?
Two things. First of all, the budget was $43 million.
How much?
43. Netflix was the last place we can go. They said, Spike, this is what we got. It's your choice. I said, bet, I'm going to do a 43. And at the same time, our brother, Martin Scorsese, had his film. And there were rumors that $100 million plus have been spent on the de-aging. I don't know. I didn't ask Marty, but I knew I only had 43.
Yeah.
So even if it's half that amount, I don't got it.
No, I hear you.
So I just realized this, and again, thank you for asking me that question. The truth is, I hope on the intelligence of the movie-going audience that first it might be a shock, but they would get it. They would understand that these guys are playing themselves. But when you think about it, these men are going back to Nam 40 years later. So in their mind, they're there as 17, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah, I felt
And
that.
so again, I wasn't sure, but like my brother Marlon Brando from Guys and Dolls, I rolled them, my dice. I said, "Luck me a lady tonight." I don't sing. Woo! And it was the Snake Eyes.
It didn't bother me. I thought it was very much like they were encountering a ghost. It was a ghost of their past. And that's what the movie is about, living with your ghosts.
Thank you.
And Chadwick Boseman, what was he like to work with?
First time we ever worked together, Oliver, I did not know he was terminally ill. Only his inner circle knew. We'd been shooting for 4 or 5 weeks before it came time for him to do his part. And I understand why, now I understand why Chad did not want anyone to know, especially the director. One of the first days he worked was the battle sequence. The first battle sequence in the flashback. And he had to do like 100-yard sprints. And it's 100 degrees. And if I had known, no way I'm gonna ask him to run like Usain Bolt
Yeah.
in 100-degree weather. Chadwick did not want to be treated differently. He wanted to do what everybody else did. He did not want to cheat us or cheat his fellow actors. That is why he did not tell anybody.
Now I know why this mission was so damn important. It's about what this war is all about.
And I think it's heroic.
Yeah, it is. And he was a great, he had wonderful talent, and it's a shame. I loved him as Jackie Robinson. In Black Panther, he was great too.
Yeah. I was shocked when I got that phone call. And Oliver, as you know, yesterday was the first anniversary of the death of Kobe, his daughter, and the rest of those passed on that helicopter. And it seems like from that moment, this past year has been totally fucked up. I mean, the other day, I got to know Hank Aaron. His wife Billy was good friends with my grandmother, in Atlanta. And people seems like whether it's COVID or just people are like dying left and right. Jesus. And then we go back to not so long, even January 6th, what we witnessed. We're living in crazy times.
And that's why I love your films when you cut away out of the blue to a documentary clip. You have this documentary approach to it too. You early on in the film, you go right into the business about the first Black Vietnam soldier killed in Vietnam was a man named Martin Olive.
18 years old, Milton Olive, and he jumped on a grenade to save his fellow Americans' lives.
From there, you go to Crispus Attucks and the Revolutionary War hero.
And the reason why I did that, Oliver, is that because of this president, I don't call him by his name, I call him Agent Orange. And he called Colin Kaepernick and the black players NFL unpatriotic to kneel. And my thing was like, motherfucker, do you know the first person to die for this country was a black man? Crispus Attucks in the Boston Massacre? Black people have been dying for this country from the get. And that's where we cut to the painting of him being killed in the porch of Crispus Attucks.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And you're educating the audience.
Yes.
You go to Aretha Franklin from that. You're telling us what the history is. And then later on, you get your Martin Luther King comes in, and then
he ends it. But if you notice, and I know you did, Oliver, the bookends of this film are two of the most early vocal opponents of this immoral war. It begins with Muhammad Ali saying, "No Viet Cong ever called me nigger." And then we end with Dr. Martin Luther King giving one of his great speeches at Riverside Church in New York City.
Oh, yeah. It's one of the great ones.
And he was assassinated 1 year later to the day. And it's my belief, I'm not the only one, that he was not assassinated because of civil rights. When he started talking about how this war is immoral, he's talking about the war machine, big money, and as you know, Oliver, in America, when you start fucking with the money,
I totally agree with you. I think that was the reason he was assassinated, and it was. And you know what? In the world as we have it now, our cultures denies him that. They treat him, yes, civil rights, he's great, but if you get into the Vietnam War, the war machine, that is what got to them. He's attacking his country on a broad scale, and he was right because it was really horrible at that point, and he knew it. But that was his death sentence in '67 when he said that.
as you know well more than me, LBJ felt betrayed because he felt he had a partner with MLK in getting the Civil Rights Act of 1964 together, and then 3 years later, Dr. King is like, "Yo, this war is wrong."
Yeah, oh yeah. As I say, I think that was his death sentence, and he certainly had enemies in J. Edgar Hoover, big enemies. That would be a good movie, that Martin Luther King real story about the guy without all the bullshit Life magazine crap, to get into his relationship with women, with real people, the movement, but also his doubts. And he achieved a spiritual overlay that was beyond anything in a public figure that we've seen in this country since maybe, I don't know, I couldn't even compare it. Maybe Malcolm, but King was really haunted by his spirituality, which you have in this movie. You have a great sense of spirituality, and you feel it. The tension, the torture that Delroy Lindo is going through. It's a great performance. Great performance. Should be considered Academy Award.
Oliver, let me ask you this: do you still think about yourself as a young man in Vietnam? Does that ever come back to you, or it's been? And if you, what do you think? I'm very interested, in hearing this.
Oh, I've examined it. Sure, I made a movie about it, and I've reflected on it quite a lot. And I was part of a system that I totally condemn now. The oppression, what we did to the Vietnamese, it was obscene, completely obscene and uncalled for. But we continue to do this system of war, the system of interference in other people's affairs, this system that says we dominate the universe and we have to do it our way, is insane. We're never going to get out of this hole, never, because we keep fighting. We keep we need an enemy, you know that. We need an enemy because we have to keep funding this preparations for war. $1 trillion now we're spending, $1 trillion for what? It's wasted money, wasted. We can do so much more with it. We could have lifted America. All our priorities are wrong, Spike.
Oliver, our time is up. I want to thank you. I know you're very busy. I want to thank I want to thank you. And I'm saying this on behalf of all the viewers too. You're one of my heroes. As I said before, NYU, your films, we study you. We still study you. And I'm looking forward to seeing, I can't wait to see this 4-hour JFK.
In Europe, yeah.
No. Netflix said no?
Yeah. And so did today I just got the word that National Geographic said no. Can you,
what are the reasons they say no?
Well, they said they did their fact check. Yeah, where are you going to find this information except in this film? If they do a fact check, and according to conventional sources, of course, it'll come out like this is not true. How can you go and prove that it's true? It's very tough. You have to have some imagination here.
I have to see it in Cannes where I'll be president of the jury. I'll see you there, sir.
I look
Let's
forward to
have
it.
let's
Be
have
well,
a drink.
brother. And
All right, thank you.
keep making joints.
See you again. Thank you very much.
Nora thinks this is all the games I have. She's like, so many games. Here's how many games I have. Wait. And then have more on top of that. And yeah, and each game is probably like, at least 20 hours long. Remember this game, Nora? You probably remember it. What do you mean, like hot and attractive? Because that's what people want to see. She's like a teenager. We should be talking about her this way. Yeah, she's pretty. There's some Cuphead. You look like a what? Oh, that's so funny. You look like you look like this. The what? The devil? Why? What? No, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. Oh, he's mad. Oh, wow. Okay, well, then forget to grab it. Oh god, that was so dumb. I need to get caught up. Why is there music playing? What? How'd that happen? What? Again? What the fuck? First game back in a while. We can win this. Rookie mistake. Fuck. See that boost. What? What the fuck am I doing? Nope, buddy. Sorry. Some things you don't forget, like riding a bicycle. Oh, he's got that. Oh no! Wait, we both fucked up. Fucking A. No! Nope, sorry, buddy. Haha. This is a little. I didn't want to do only once. It's too stressful. Like for just coming back, I just kind of want to relax and not be so stressed and like let my teammates take some of the pressure. But, like here, I have all the pressure. No! Haha, buddy! We got it! Okay, we gotta set up, keep him from goaling, like, for a minute and a half, which is like an eternity in this game. Or we can goal again. That works too. Ah! No! Oh no! He fucked up. You don't know what you're dealing with here! That's so cool. We're gonna watch. We're gonna make him watch this. Man, first game back in like, wait, it's been like a month or two. He's desperate. Oh, but he can still win though. He can still. Oh god, that's free goal. That's free goal. Fuck me. Fuck. Oh no! 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 What the fuck? How'd he? That was alright. That was well done. I had no boost and awkward. Oh, it's okay if I lose this. I mean, like I was expecting to lose. Oop, I got the boost, buddy. What are you gonna do now? I got more speed than you. Oh, that's centered for him. He can't do aerials. I noticed that about him. Doesn't mean he can't win. This is brutal. He wins this, he deserves to win it. He put me through hell. Oh, what? How did I miss that? Fuck him up. This is hell. I see what you're doing, buddy. I'm not for yesterday. Oh, come on, let me score. Oh, yes! How did we win this? Oh my god, dude, that was so cool. Oh, that was a sweet match. He gets a GG. Well played. We're not queuing for more 1v1s though. That was too much stress. I want someone else to take up the slack. Man, this game can be stressful. That was a fun match, but man, my heart was racing. Oh no, that's bad. Get it, buddy. Why would you fly for that? Seems kind of silly. Oh, come on. Fuck. Oh, I thought he was gonna hit it. You missed it. Get it, buddy. Get it. Uh-oh. Good job. Oh, I thought I was gonna hit it. Did it, buddy! Okay, I don't know what happened there. Probably gonna forfeit. Yeah, one left already. Yeah. I mean, like, 3 points ahead is not... They can easily overcome that. I mean, they were worse, but... Yeah, this was something less stressful. It's stressful. I'm just, like, not in the mood for it. I always have fun playing Rocket League, but... It's demanding. It's time for bed anyway, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna head to bed. I have to wake up early. Good night.